Hello and welcome to this video on why the making of cheese needs different milk. Your first thought might be that it's obvious that goat, sheep or cow cheeses need different kinds of milk, but that is not what we are talking about. Instead, we mean the actual type of milk. The simplest differences are something like low-fat versus full-cream milk. One is suited to a cheese like halloumi, while the other is suited to a hard cheese like Parmesan. Your average milk has a rough composition of 88% water, 3.5% fat, 3.3% protein, 4.9% carbohydrates, and 0.5% minerals like calcium. Whole milk tends to be at the high end of this range. That is, whole milk is rich in fat and protein. Your skim milk or light milk tends to be much below this, particularly in the fat and carbohydrate areas. Less so in protein, although that is still lower. By contrast, skim milk is much lower in just about all areas, and the most common things that are removed include the fat and carbohydrates. This is done by removing more of the cream during milk separation and the addition of water or permeate to, let's say, make up the volume. Using the two extremes of whole milk and skim milk, we can look at why different cheeses need different milk. Although it is worth us pointing out that you can effectively use either skim milk to dilute full cream milk, or add full cream milk or cream to skim milk to add or subtract as needed. It's easier to look at cheeses made from skim milk as lacking some of the things that full cream milk provides. This is largely the effect of fats and sugars. Both of these are important to the texture and consistency of soft cheeses. The fat and sugar acts as a disruption to the cheese matrix made up of proteins and minerals. By interrupting it in regular, but not regular as in so many units per distance, but regular as in it's fairly consistent throughout the entirety of the cheese, it is not able to form a hard solid mass. It only has small pockets of solidified minerals and protein. This gives it a much less solid texture. It's similar to how ice cream isn't the same as ice. It's much softer and, well, tastier, but that's because the fat and sugars within the milk used to make the ice cream will prevent it from solidifying to the same extent. It has disrupted the water crystals. This is why full cream milk is used for soft cheese. The combination of more fat and sugar means it stays soft. The readily available sugars, fats, and protein is why many strongly flavored cheeses are made with full cream milk. These are what will feed the bacteria used as a cheese culture, and later on in some cases the fungi. This is also why skim milk is used for hard cheeses. You first have the effect of removing the fats and sugars, which means it's not able to have the matrix of proteins and minerals disrupted in the same way. This means you have a solid, or at least more solid mass. That also means you can compress it more and force out water. The lack of fat, sugars, and to a certain extent protein means the cheese will not hold on to the water very tightly. You don't have the same osmotic effect trying to hold on to any water, and when you salt it, age it and dry it, it comes out, more so than soft cheese. This is why most hard cheeses can be stored and aged for a very long time, whereas most soft cheeses tend to not be able to be stored for anywhere near as long a period. Without moisture, bacteria, for instance, has less opportunity to colonize a cheese and become pathogenic. The small amount of saccharides also reduces the ability to feed and grow a colony. Combining this with salt only furthers that effect. This is why hard cheeses tend to use a skim milk or light milk, whereas soft cheeses, or those that are very strongly flavored, tend to use a full cream milk as their base. Although you then need to consider things like the bacterial culture, the molds that are used, and so on. Overall, this is why different milks are used. Low-fat, low-sugar milk makes hard cheeses that age well. Full cream milk does not age as well, but also supports much stronger flavors. Admittedly, this is a very broad rule, but it's generally consistent. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please post any comments, questions, or suggestions you have below,